going on, everyone? Sponsor is Amin here. I am back here with another video. So we are still in the month of March 2022. Today is the 20th of March. So guys, remember these videos are strictly for educational purposes and they are not trading or investment advice. So do not trade money you cannot afford to lose. Do not trade money that you need to pay the rent next week. So remember, if you are in Newcastle or surrounding areas, I will be hosting this session called Introduction to Investing. So we will be talking about shares, we will be talking about the forex market, we will be touching on crypto, and then introduce people on what is the metaverse. So I am in partnership with Genesis Markets. We will be at Isakabuli BNB in section 5. So if you are in Newcastle, do come through and check us out. So guys, let us continue now. So on our menu here today, we're going to look at Bitcoin, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, USOIL, CADJPY, GBPUSD, and then on the South African front, we're going to look at USDZAP, Transaction Capital, MultiChoice, and then there's Investec. So today I decided not to do the fundamental stuff because there's just a whole lot of things going on, including the war, and there was some interest rates decisions that were made by two major central banks, including the Fed and also the Bank of England. So that created a lot of volatility and headache in the markets on the previous week. So me personally, I was just observing and just staying on the sidelines because I do not like to get involved when the market's just all over the place. So if we look at Bitcoin has been rising higher the past couple of days, not that much, but it has been rising higher, about 7%, because it came from a low of 37,000, and then it closed on yesterday's session. It closed at a high of the 42,000 mark. So as I said, there's on the Bitcoin side, I will not show any interest until it starts trading above the 45,000 mark. So since it's still below the 45,000 mark, Bitcoin, we are still pretty much bearish here. So the 17,200 level still looks pretty much attractive and it's still on the cards. So if we're looking at the S&P SPX USD, if we are looking at the S&P 500, we saw that the Federal Reserve actually raised some interest rates there. So people were expecting that the market would actually drop significantly. Even I myself, I was expecting that, but the opposite actually happened. People actually bought stocks instead of selling those stocks. So it was actually the opposite of it. So I'm just trying to create a brighter picture of what might happen in the markets ahead. If we just remove the negative sentiments that are currently happening, like the war and the inflation stuff, because we might see, technically we might see the market actually extending higher, coming back to this level at the 4,560, because there's still some order blocks that are here, some bearish order blocks that are there. So the market might actually come back, retest this level and pull back lower to the 42,078, and then after pulling back to the 42,078, you might actually see price of the S&P 500 moving higher to 4,700, even as high as 85,000 level. So as I'm saying that, I'm just trying to look at the brighter side when it comes to this market itself, because like there's been a lot of negative data. There's been a lot of negative sentiment around the markets with the Russian issue, the Ukraine issue. Oil is rising up, commodities are rising sideways, are going up, and they are going down. So there's just been a lot of uncertainty that is just going on around the market. So I'm just trying to give out a positive sentiment when it comes to markets at this stage. Looking at the Nasdaq, we have seen that the Nasdaq itself also had this large head and shoulder pattern, but it bounced on this 12,950 level, if I could say. It bounced on this level here, which was the previous support level, and then it came and then it bounced on this level and then it started to move high. But interestingly, what I've seen here on the data from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the Nasdaq 100 futures, as much as they closed 300 points on the previous session, we have seen that the past 3 sessions volume, the largest, highest volume that was recorded above 217,000 contracts, they were recorded on the session on Wednesday, and then on Thursday a lower volume than that, and then on Friday's session there was a lower contracts that were executed that day, but low contracts, but the market is actually going higher. So that is just telling us something, that there is some market movement, but liquidity, it is still low. The market is going higher, but liquidity, it is not there, because this data is just telling us that the highest liquidity that was recorded was on this day here, if I could say. So let us look at WTI, USOIL. So on the oil side now, there's been a lot of volatility on the oil markets. We've seen some really extreme moves, a 13% drop on oil, 7% up move on oil. But now, what I'm just being cautious of here, as much as people are still excited that oil is going up, but there's this FTR candle, that is why I say that I marked on this zone. So you might actually see oil prices going lower on this coming week. So they might go lower from this 105 level that they closed off from, maybe go lower and go to the $84 level before they start to rebound and go higher to the $115 and $130, even as high as the $150 level. So that FTR candle is gonna play a huge part, that the market needs to come back to this level, and it actually makes sense, that because it is actually doing a retest of this level. So the market bounced from this level, pulled back, broke off, and then now it's actually coming back to retest the $84 level before it goes higher. So the next chart that we need to look at is GBPUSD. So the story of GBPUSD, we've seen that the interest rate hike actually created volatility there on the GBPUSD. So GBP might be a little bit stronger than the US dollar on this coming week. So we might actually see this V play actually playing out on GBPUSD, but price needs to start trading above this level here, which is the 1.3212 level. If price starts trading above this level here, we might actually see the British pound against the dollar moving higher to the 1.33 and 70 level, even as high as the 1.35090 level. So that is just a straightforward analysis on the GBPUSD. So the next one is CADJPY. So on CADJPY, let me remove all the other drawings. So this pair right here, we might actually see a price actually rejecting the high there. Because there's this rising wedge that is right here. I actually did this chart, but I do not know why TradingView didn't save the templates. But I'm just going to start over for argument's sake. Okay, so CADJPY, something like this might actually occur and happen here. Price might actually try to pull back from that high and come back to retest this level, which is right here, the 93.60 level, 93.60 level. So we might actually see CADJPY dropping like this. So it's actually going to be doing a pullback. So this is a 30-minute chart, guys. So for those who trade longer time frames, this structure, they actually see it even more clearer. So if we're looking at the USDZA, so the story of USDZA, wow, it is quite really interesting. So the rand has been just resilient against the dollar. So what I'm actually seeing here on USDZA at this current moment, we might actually see the ZAR actually breaking this level that is right here, the blue zone that you're seeing there, and maybe ZAR might actually push them to the low at the 14.48 level, 14.48 cents level there, and then maybe if it's still stronger from there, maybe price get actually push even as low as the 14 rand 12 level, because whatever is happening geopolitically, it affects the US dollar. So if the US dollar weakens, it tends to strengthen all the other emerging markets currencies, even those G8 currencies, the big ones like the CAD, the GBP and the Euro, then the NZD. So the ones that we said we're going to look at on the JSE side is MultiChoice, MultiChoice, which is MCG. MultiChoice has been like moving like really on a sideways marking. Maybe one of the reasons why MultiChoice has been moving sideways is that it is part of the Nespas group, Nespas Process group. So those two large companies have been going down, but this one as a separate entity from them has been trying to hold those losses, of which it can't. This is a small company, those are large corporations. But when it comes to the performance of my MultiChoice itself, it has been stagnant. Why? People are complaining about the content that is offered there on MultiChoice. You always see the same content almost every week. If this movie doesn't play on this channel, it will play on another channel. So I think MultiChoice has to step up, because compared to its competitors like Netflix, Disney, like in the US. So I heard that there's another TV also coming online. Even MultiChoice doesn't compete with YouTube. YouTube is a free space, but the paid YouTube has even more dope content than the ones that we see on MultiChoice. So if you are a DSTV holder, just brace, or you can buy the stock, but just know that it is moving at a slow pace. So you can just, if you're buying MultiChoice, you are buying it for value, because this is one of those large satellite TV companies. So MultiChoice, it is a straight shot buy. You can just jump in on MultiChoice. The next one is Investec, INL. Okay, I want the PLC. No, not the PLC, the limited fish. So there's two Investecs that are listed in the JSE. So there's the PLC and then there's the limited. So I normally buy the PLC. So we are seeing that banks are actually moving higher. So Investec is still 83 Rand a share. So the other banks like ABSA, Standard Bank are trading in the hundreds, they're even in the 200s. So this one is still a little bit more cheaper. Even NetBank is a bit cheaper than Investec. So Investec, it is currently trying to push higher. You might see Investec price in the next coming weeks, a month, or even years going to 120 Rand per share, entering the 100 Rand mark. So Investec is a global bank. It offers also asset management to private clients, to private wealth, those super wealthy clients. So people like you and I cannot bank on Investec unless we have a net worth of, I think it's 2 million or 1.5 million. Then you can start banking with them. So we should stick to our Capitex and ABSAs for now. Maybe we will find the opportunity to invest with to hold the banking account with Investec. So the next one is transaction capital. Transaction capital growth, I like it because they are really making some big moves. We're seeing some really big moves on this medium cap company. So transaction capital, it's a financial company and also leases vehicles, plus it also sells vehicles via their We Buy Cars brand, and also it also finances most taxis that you see there on the road. Almost 80% of taxis that you see on the road, on the streets of Johannesburg, Durban, or in Cape Town, Bloemfontein, Polokwane, whatever city or town you are in, the chances are that it is financed by transaction capital. So transaction capital just keep on buying the stock, guys. This company is going to be a monster. It's going to do wonders. On its previous earnings, it did over 1000% in profits than it was expected. So it was massive. So if it was expected to make 100 million, it made a double of that amount in revenue. So guys, those are the charts of interest for this week. So excuse the claims and claims that we saw here. Some things are just out of my control. Some things I just really cannot control. So remember, guys, if you are in Newcastle, we're going to be hosting this live seminar at Isakaboli BNB in section 5. We're going to be talking about introduction to investing, and our topics there, they're going to be shares, forex, crypto, and as well going to touch on the metaverse. So it's only $250, guys, but the information that we are going to deliver, it is just massive and out of this world. So guys, please follow us on our socials, and like our channel, subscribe to our channel, because at a later stage I'll also try to interview traders so they can share their story on how they started and how this journey of investing and trading has treated them so far. So on Facebook is S4H Stocks for Hope, and then on Twitter is Stocks for Hope as well, and then my personal handle on Facebook is Mongiseni Small Lamini. I have a page and then a personal profile, so please like the page so that you get information about investing. On my personal profile, I hardly talk about investing. So on Twitter, Stocks for Hope, and then also my personal handle on Twitter, it's always investing, stocks, trading, and I'm talking about some other social stuff there as well. So remember, guys, these videos are for educational purposes. Like and share and subscribe to our channel, but know that these videos are for educational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. So people should not trade money they cannot afford to lose. You cannot trade money. You need to buy food on the weekend, or you need to pay the rent next week. So this is just pure disaster when it comes to risking or trading in this financial market. So thank you, guys. God bless. I'll definitely see you on the next video.